worked a job that I didn't like, and I felt like a cog in a machine. I would pour my heart and soul into something, and it just felt empty. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I didn't know there was people like this out in the world. Get a job for a corporation, work for them for 30 years, and hopefully they take care of you into your retirement so that you can go to Florida once a year. If we work a 9 to 5, we have one client. And if that client decides one day that they don't like anything, you lost your entire income. It's just-in-time learning. It's taking imperfect action. If I had waited till that show was perfect, I'd still be waiting. That show changed my life.
Hi, hello everybody. Good morning or good night, wherever you are watching this show. So, as I promised, I will bring some experts in my interview channel, Coffee with Kaya, every week. So today, and I will bring lots of experts. And today, my guest is Jim Beard, and he is one of my favorite, my mentor. Okay, and I'm very grateful that he's here today because, starting this channel and coming in front of the camera, he inspired me for that a lot. Actually, he like almost like pushed me to start the show. So not show at first, just to come in front of the camera. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I can't even introduce him. He has such a big resume, but I will try to introduce him as much as I can. Some highlights. So Jim is like a help in for almost 15 years, working with lots of car companies and helping them to make videos, commercials, and right. Am I right, Jim? Okay.
You're absolutely
And
right.
lots of other technical terms. He described lots of stuff for 15 years. So he's in this business for 15 years. He was not enjoying just to be good at job, right? Just to work for others. He wanted to build something for his own. So we all are familiar with that. So then finally, after 2020, he built his business behind, but after 2020, he took it seriously. And then he came up with lots of stuff. I mean, he can tell again, he will tell you. The one thing I really loved, he talked about, he started a podcast called Fail Faster, right, Jim?
That was a podcast I was going to start.
Going. Ooh,
I
I'm
never
not familiar.
did start that
Okay,
podcast.
so
Instead, I made a game show called X's and
yeah,
O's
I'm
Game
coming
Show.
there. So first, this one, the podcast Fail Faster. I love that name because most of the people are saying become millionaire, da da da, but he's saying fail faster because failure is important, and that really helped. Then I was amazed by his next venture. What is a live stream or a game show for entrepreneur, right? That he started, and he will tell us more about it. And not only that, I am also grateful for that. He also helped his viewers or customers to overcome with their obstacles in their journey wherever they are stuck. I will not take much time again, and let's Jim start. So Jim, I will ask you to start your journey, exactly how that started, and how you feel passionate about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me here, Kai. I really appreciate it. So, like so many, I worked a job that I didn't like. Really is what it comes down to. It was not fulfilling. I felt like a cog in a machine. I would pour my heart and soul into something, and it just felt empty. I
I
felt
know, I know that feeling.
felt empty. It really did. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I would pour everything I had into making these images and these videos look absolutely incredible, and then they hand it off to the next person in the pipeline, and then you wouldn't hear about it for 6 months, and then you get an
Exactly.
email from someone you've never met before taking credit for your hard work, earning an award on stage, and saying, "Good job, team, keep up the good work,"
You,
winky
you
face.
That is in your area too. That's the common
Yeah.
practice in my field too. I
Yeah, and I think
mean,
it's consistent with a lot. Is that the people that end up getting the accolades and that get all the feedback and everything like that are generally the people that don't do the work.
oh my God, same thing. We call us slave of scientific world. We used to call us
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. So, like Steve Jobs, for instance.
Hmm.
Steve Jobs was a brilliant marketing mind, but he didn't make the iPhone. He said, I want you to put 1,000 songs in this box. Go. And people went and they created it. Brilliant minds across the world created this thing, and it became a phone and so on. His ideas were in the marketing field, how to get attention. That was what he was really good at.
Hmm.
But it wasn't a team of people, of hundreds of people stepping up on that stage. It was Steve Jobs. And so I got that feeling myself, and I was like, man, this this has got to stop. And I got exposed to entrepreneurs in a big way. And I was like, oh, these are my people. They speak my language. I didn't know there was people like this out in the world. I thought all I had was you get a job for a corporation, you work for
Hmm.
them for 30 years, and hopefully they take care of you into your retirement so that you can go to Florida once a year.
Same
And I
story. Oh
was like,
my
oh,
God.
that's the dream. Okay, cool. That's what I'm going to shoot for. But then I was exposed to this whole other world of entrepreneurs who live by their own rules and ensure themselves against failure because they have multiple clients. If we work a 9 to 5, we have one client. And if that client decides one day that they don't like anything, you lost your entire income, everything. And I think that's become abundantly clear during the pandemic
Mm.
with layoffs and with being at home and finally getting to spend time with your loved ones and your family and your children and the things that your why.
You're
You're
why.
you're now
Exactly.
get to spend quality
Hmm.
time with your
Exactly.
why. And now we know what we're missing. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous to corporate America because now we know what we were missing all these years.
But I
I
love it,
oh
Jim. But
yeah,
I love it. It's not only America; it's all over the world. They are
yeah,
like they are fearful now. But
you're absolutely right. And now it's our market as employees because employers are like, please, please come work for us. And
hmm,
we're like, we're good.
yeah, it's a
You
world
know?
for freelancer or independent entrepreneur,
Yeah.
solopreneur. Exactly. Exactly.
Entrepreneurs are uprising in
Hmm.
droves during the pandemic because people are seeing that there is another way. There's another way to do this. And so my eyes lit up because I've been exposed to entrepreneurship and I've dabbled. I've made it
Hmm.
like a hobby for many, many years, 20 some years that I've
Yeah,
been
because
dabbling.
exactly, because when you have responsibility, when you have job, you need that
Hmm.
to pay the bills and everything. At the same time, you don't have, some many of us don't have that luxury to jump in entrepreneurship abruptly, right? So we
You're
take
so
time.
right. Yeah.
We take time, exactly.
Yeah. So you dabble, you make it a hobby. And in your mind, you're like, man, I'm killing it. This is going to be my business. No, it's not because you're not taking it seriously enough. You're
Mm-hmm.
treating it like a hobby. It's a hobby.
Okay, I
And
got
even
it.
though you may be making income, you just have an expensive hobby because it's not structured as a business. It doesn't have a hierarchy. It doesn't have SOPs. It doesn't have systems. It doesn't have accountants in place and things to handle all of the different aspects of a business. Operations manager, CMO, sorry, uh, like project management, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's just you. And that's fine. When you start out, that's how we all start out. We start out as a business of one, and then you expand. But until you expand, you're not a business. You have a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. A lot of people get like defensive, like, no, I don't. I have a business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do you? If you were to take off the next month, what happens to your business? It's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of us, when we do this and we start out, the answer is the business dies because we are the business. That's not a business, that's a hobby. So that was a hard pill for me to swallow, was that, oh, all this time I didn't have a business.
Okay.
I had a hobby. So now I got to try and make it a business. So that's when the pandemic started, was when this started like really calculating in my mind. And when it all started, I was very drawn to all these amazing entrepreneurs that were being so generous, giving away things 90% off, 95% off, free. Please take it, take it, take it. And if you guys are like me, and I'm sure you are, what is it? What happens if you don't pay? You don't pay
It,
attention.
mm-hmm.
So what does
Mm-hmm.
it do? It collects dust in your Gmail. It collects dust in your Google Docs or whatever it may be, or some you don't even log in. It just sits there because there was no investment on your side. There was no balance or transaction that happened, a trade for value. And because of that, we treat it as such. We treat it as a freebie thing that doesn't matter much. And this hurt my heart because like there's these people giving away amazing, incredible advice that could literally change your life. And they're just
Absolutely.
letting it
Absolutely. Yep.
sit. So that bothered me so deeply. And I was like, well, how can I get these people to open these things and use them? So then it started the thought process of what if they earned it? And how do you earn something online in a meaningful way? So that started this whole churning process of like making a show, a game show in particular. I went down the rabbit hole of YouTube and started digging around for all the old school game shows and everything,
Mm-hmm.
Wheel of Fortune and Price is Right, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay. That's
All the
interesting.
classics.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across Hollywood Squares. And Hollywood Squares is to where you have a tic-tac-toe game, but instead of X's and O's only in each square, you have a celebrity and you ask them a trivia question based upon which contestant picked a box, and inside that box is a celebrity. So then the host asks that celebrity box that they chose, that they want an X or an O to go in, a trivia question. And so they could answer incorrectly, they could lie just to mess with people, or they could say the truth. And then the contestant had to tell the difference. And if they got it right, they got an X or an O in the square. 3 in a row gets tic tac toe. Best out of 3 wins the game. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I'm going to throw away all those celebrities and I'm going to put in marketers and entrepreneurs in our space. And the 2 contestants, I want them to be someone that's in a 9 to 5 that wants to be an entrepreneur, or a new entrepreneur that hasn't broken through yet, to be able to have their income support them and make a livable wage off of their business. So now all of my experts, my marketers and entrepreneurs, bring a prize with them. So you have 9 prizes going to the winner. So it's like having 9 experts descend upon your business and help you to get past your roadblock for a short period of time, and what that could mean to you and your business. And so I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So now how do I make it? I have no idea.
Okay.
So I went searching and I found Dungeons and Dragons players. And it's a board game that they play with cards as well. And they're all gathered around in online live with comments coming down. And they're playing this board game together. And they're all over the world. Someone's in Japan, someone's in Germany, someone's in East Asia, and someone is in Texas. And they're all playing together. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. How can I make this work for what I need? So if
Mm-hmm.
I could figure out how they did this, I can apply it to what I need. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just in time learning, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not learn, 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 then start to execute. It's learn a little, execute a lot. Learn a little, execute a lot. And that's how I got through. because I just put my feet to the fire and I said, listen, this is it. All right, now I dug into their content and I found the person that created the show. And then I got the terminology I needed to know to do better searches. You got to ask the right questions, right? So now I knew the questions to ask. So I start searching for those, and now I know how to make the show, kind of, at least enough to get something working. So I start putting the show together, and things are starting to kind of make a little bit of sense. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to set up my first show. Because I didn't want to start marketing it before or after it was completed. I wanted it to be, I have a hard stop. You have to complete it by now, because that's just my personality. I have to be backed into a corner and forced to do it. Otherwise,
I have a
something fails or
question.
falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Question, where do you stream that game? Like do you have a platform or
Facebook.
it's Facebook? Okay.
When we
Wow.
come back, we're going to be exclusively on YouTube, though. We're going completely YouTube. Because in my opinion, that's where everything's going.
Okay. Great. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I
No,
was
you're
just
fine.
curious.
You're
I
fine.
want
No
to watch
worries.
it.
I love the back and forth, so don't worry about that. So I start putting this together, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give myself to Friday. It was like a Sunday, and I tell my friends and family, I'm like, all right, Friday we're getting on this thing, and they're like, what is it? I'm like, don't worry about it. You're just coming on. Don't worry about it. So quit asking so many questions. You and your questions. And so Friday, I have a time set 5 p.m. Eastern to get this show done. At this point, I've got a couple moving cute things, and that's it. I don't have a show. So I just ferociously put this thing together, and it's now Thursday, and I'm going to do a test run. And it fails because the version of OBS Studio I was using was called Streamlabs OBS. And at the time, they didn't utilize Zoom. They didn't allow for Zoom to come in. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So OBS Studio, which is a derivative, a side offshoot. OBS Studio is the original Streamlabs. Yeah. So OBS Studio does take in Zoom. So now I'm in a position to where I have a show over here, doesn't work. It will work over here, but I have to recreate the show.
Okay.
So now Thursday night into Friday morning and day, I'm ferociously recreating the show in OBS Studio. And I duct tape it together, and it's just hopes and dreams holding this thing together. We all get on, and it's mania. It's total craziness. Someone's windows are blowing up. Someone's not the host anymore. I'm not the host. I'm a contestant now. A contestant's the host, and people are like, what's happening?
Oh, you are talking about the technical issues. Okay. OMG.
Yeah. Because there's this thing in Zoom that it favors video. It's a video platform. So if you lose internet connectivity, it'll turn off the video for a second. Or if you turn off your video because you want to get a drink, or you want to go use the bathroom, or whatever it is, you're talking to your kids, and you turn off your video, Zoom throws you to the end of the stack because you no longer have video. So I'm taking a screen capture. It's literally just a window looking at my window. So whatever's on there and the order it is in is what is going to show on my show. So now when they throw them to the end, everyone gets jumbled up. And so I have to reorganize, which I had to kick everybody out, and then I had to bring them back in one at a time in order. Then Zoom ended up fixing it. Now you can just click on your video and drag it around and move it around, and it's much easier. But at the time, it was not.
It was not. Okay.
And so I just technical difficulty after technical difficulty. And I'm just so nervous, and I'm sweating, and I'm like, everyone's going to hate this, and it's just going to suck, and everyone's going to not want to talk to me again. Negative thinking. I get done with it, and I'm just like, all right, everybody, have a good night. Thank you so much for showing up for the first episode of X's and O's Game Show. Have a nice one. Cut it off. Say goodbye to everybody on Zoom. And I just sit in my chair, and I'm just like, what did I just do?
Okay.
What have I done? Thinking I messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something interesting is before this, I was used to getting 1, 2 messages a week from friends and family in Messenger. This night, I had over 30. My phone was just buzz, 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 lighting up like crazy. Oh my God, what was that? I've never seen anything like that. So bizarre. I was scrolling and I saw this and I watched the whole thing. This is so much fun. Most fun I've had since the pandemic started. Please keep going. Well,
That's very unique, Jim. No matter you technically, you had technical difficulties, but the idea, the
yeah, yeah.
it's very, very unique.
So I collect myself. I know what the problems are. So I start trying to solve the problems. And I'm like, let's do it again.
Mm-hmm.
This time I go, let's go for broke. I'm going to go reach out to a big name and get them on the show and see what happens. What do I have to lose? No one knows I exist out here. Who cares? So I reach out to Marley Jacks. And
Mm.
I'm like, Marley, I have this weird show, super bizarre, and I think you'd love it. And I think you'd be perfect for it. Would you want to come on the show this Friday? A long time goes by, and she goes, heck yeah, can you send me an example? So I sent her episode 1, which was insanity. And she responds back, laughing out loud, I'm in. She goes,
Okay.
but can I? She goes, can I bring a friend? And I go, yeah, you're Marley Jacks. You do whatever you want. So she ended up bringing another big name in the space. So now I've got 2 big names. Guess what I
Okay.
do to get the rest? Because I have 12 people I have to have on every show,
Mm-hmm.
including myself, 11 plus me. That's a lot of people to get together
Right.
at one time, on time.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's
Logistically, the
crazy. That
show
was
is
I
like,
was telling you.
so I don't recommend you do a show with 12 people if you're starting a show.
No,
Don't
my God,
don't do
just
that to yourself.
one. I was just asking for going live for the time I have, the time that match. It took me 3 to 4 days to come up with that time just for one person.
It's tough. It's tough. So, I mean, you learn fast, fail faster. Like that
Mhm.
podcast I wanted to make. I didn't go with the podcast because I thought the pandemic needed something bizarre. So I gave it to him, which was X's and O's. So now I've got 2 big names. I do now, it starts a masterclass in leverage. So I tell everybody else, hey, I've got these 2 huge names coming on. Are you in? They're like, yeah, I want to be on with Marley Jacks. Of course I want to be on with Marley
Mhm.
Jacks. And so I filled the show within like 2 hours, which is nuts because before having those names, it was like pulling teeth trying to get people on there. But now I've got names. So now I've got validity, I've got authority. And everyone else is like, what is the show? Why have I never heard of this before?
Okay.
Now it means something,
Hmm.
because I've got these big people coming
Big,
on.
big people. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I filled the show. We do the show. Everything blows up again. Everything goes crazy. But they all had a ton of fun. So I got to keep going. And I just kept up with that process of everything breaks, fix it, leverage big names. And I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger names coming on. And it just continued. I think we hit episode 26 before we had to cut off because it literally melted my video card.
Hmm.
My computer couldn't handle it. So now I got a new computer that can handle it. And we're redesigning the show, and I'm very excited to bring that back. But what's the point of all this? Why do we care about your show, Jim? Congrats, you had a game show, whatever. Because it's just in time learning. It's taking imperfect action. If I had waited till that show was perfect, I'd still be waiting. Plain and simple. I'd still be waiting to this day and nothing would have happened. That show changed my life.
I have one
I
thing to say
Yeah.
here. The same exact thing you told me, take the action, imperfect action, no matter. And I'm so glad that I listened to you and I started. And the technical difficulty you are saying, those are huge. For me, it was simple, just to go live, just to hit the record button. I messed up with those. I'm telling you, I took one
It happens.
interview.
All of
I
us do it.
messed up the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the interview, and it was perfect. I messed up. I haven't hit the record button. Then I was
All
not,
been there.
I didn't know how to do all the Zoom. I was talking, I was asking, then posting the video, I didn't know how to do the editing. But I am glad that I started. you know One thing, it is a metaphor I'm trying to give. You don't drive when the all lights are green, right? You
Mhm.
don't start driving with the expectation that all lights are green, right? You drive, okay, there will be red, there will be yellow light, and then you have to stop. You have to do that. You don't like, okay, I will not start driving from my home till all light become green. You never do that.
It's so true. That's a great analogy. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's never going to happen.
never going to
There's never
happen.
going to be all greens. It's
Exactly.
going to be green, yellow, red, all scattered in between. There's
Scatters,
not going to be a
accidents,
pattern
this,
to it.
that, right?
There's
Snow,
not going to be
rain.
some shortcut. There's not going to be
Yes.
some tip or trick or hack that's going to make that light any greener. It's just going, moving.
Hmm.
And the thing is once you move, before I aired that show, the first episode, I thought it was perfect. I was like, it's as good as I can make it. Then we went live and I saw all the problems. It became crystal clear. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Make a short list. Cool. Correct those. Try again. Guess and check. Guess and check. Guess and check.
Hmm.
It's the same way with ads, with video content creation, with copywriting, with posting, with sales, with every aspect of our business. We have to split test,
Right.
guess and check,
Hmm.
guess and check. And then we think that it doesn't apply to us. It does. You're
It
not the
does.
exception.
Nobody, exactly. Nobody is
You're
perfect.
not the
Some
exception.
sometimes we have that notion that I will launch or do everything after everything is perfect.
Oh my God, that's the
That
worst thing you can do.
exactly, exactly.
You might as well just fold up your company right there and just say, you know what, we're done here. I'm
Ex-
serious. Like it sounds harsh,
mhm.
but it's true. It's just true. And I think all of us kind of fight that a little in the beginning. We go, no, I can get it. I just got to get the right mentor, the right
Yes, and we
coach,
change, right? We
and
buy
they're going to
course
make
from
me
course.
perfect from day
Exactly.
one. Day
Yes.
one, I'm going to be perfect because I spent $8,000 on this
Yep.
person. And
Yes.
it's like, no, you still got to do the guess and check. You still got to fail. You still got to do all those things. But now you have, instead of seeing just the next step you can take, your coach tells you, oh, by the way, there's these other two steps in front of you. You can't see them yet, but they're there. You're still going to have to figure out how to take those steps.
Hmm.
But they tell you, they shine a little bit of light
They
because
guide you.
they guide you. Exactly.
Exactly.
So being an entrepreneur is like trying to complete a task in complete dark. You
True.
take one step, solid step, you make your choice, you move forward. Now you got to take that next step. But the next step is still dark. You don't know what's around you. You have a
Hmm.
little bit of an idea of what just happened,
Hmm.
and you make estimates and guesses off of that. You take that next step,
Hmm.
but it's always in the dark. So what coaches do is they just let you know, oh, those two steps are ahead of you. I don't know if you're right there or not, but it's coming. You're going to have to take these two steps very soon.
Hmm.
And that's what coaches do is they let you know this is coming.
Hmm.
This is how you approach that. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but these are the basics of how to get through that step because they've taken it. They've been
Hmm.
there. Now your story is going to be slightly different because you're unique. You're your own person, your own
Exactly.
entity and personality, and you have your own
Exactly.
experience in life.
Yeah.
So your step is going to look a little different than theirs, but you have much better estimations and information to go off of to take that step,
Right.
which is much better off than you were before.
Yeah.
You
Right.
have
You are taking calculated risk now.
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
And that's the big thing behind it, is it's calculated risk. It's not just I'm going to throw down all this money and I'm either
Yes.
going to win or lose. Roll
Yes.
the dice.
No.
No, you can't do that. We as
Mhm.
entrepreneurs are constantly taking risks,
Mhm.
and it's just part of who we are. And that's a good thing. It is.
Mhm.
It's a good thing. But if we take those risks without any kind of foresight, knowledge, information gathering, we're literally just gambling.
Yes. Yes.
It's just gambling.
Mhm.
That's all it is. And if
Yes.
we think it's anything else, we're just fooling ourselves.
Exactly.
It's literally you saying, I'm betting it all on black.
Mhm.
I'm going all in on red.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, and that's it.
That's so.
It's
My next question is I am very interested about your both the show. One is the podcast, and one is your game show. So if my viewer want to watch that or be part of it, do you have any link or anything?
You can just look up X's and O's Game Show on Facebook pages.
Mm-hmm.
That is our main location for airing shows. That's where all the old shows are. We also have the show, where we teach others how to make a lead generating show for their business. And then there's Content Chop Shop. Content Chop Shop is to where it's a group of guys that gets together. It's about 5 of us. It's the Biz Bros and myself and Ron Cool and Corey Carter. They get together and we review videos that sell something, ads, commercials, things like that. And we try to take advice that we gather from what those successes or failures, and then we give them to the audience so that they can use them in their own content.
So that is a show, or that is a
That's
show
a show.
or show too. Oh wow.
There are
Okay.
3 shows.
Okay.
All 3 are on hiatus currently, but you can see all the old episodes if you go
Mhm.
to any of those Facebook pages. So Content Chop Shop, Show, and X's Nose Game Show. X's Nose Game Show is by far the biggest show, but they're all very fun.
Okay, great. I will love to. I mean, if I can give me some, you can send me DM the link and I
Yeah,
can watch
absolutely.
it because those are free, right now. I mean,
All free. All free.
all free. Exactly. Okay, and also, besides that, you also have a coaching business, right?
I do.
Um, right. Can you tell me more, little bit about that too?
Sure. Yeah, it's called Micro Machine Media is the name of my company.
Mm-hmm.
And we help entrepreneurs and marketers to create innovative content that entertains, educates, filters audiences, and ascends them up the value ladder. And what does that mean? Okay, so video sales letters, video ads, content creation and strategy that's going to actually bring you leads and sales. And we also assist with setting up your streams and doing remote producing as well for your live streams.
Okay, great. Because I was amazed by your content creations that I first watched in Doug. Oh my God. I am still I go back and watch that video again and again
Oh, I'm
to
so glad to
know.
hear it. That's the best thing you can hear, is that someone got value from something you put out there.
Yes,
So
I
thank you.
mean that 4 pillar you talked about and all that. So
Mhm.
I thought maybe you have your own program, like own coaching also. That's why I'm asking. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that will be because content marketing is part of organic marketing, and that is so important nowadays.
Absolutely.
Just don't go for, like, build. That's I'm trying to tell my viewers also. You can't just build your product and hope that you will sell and everybody will come and buy it. You have to give value. That Russell is saying every day, value, value, value. Give value. Serve your audience, serve your viewers. So
That brings me to another point, actually, is that
mhm.
people get concerned. Oh, I don't want to give away my best stuff in my content.
Yes. That's
Let's
true.
talk about that for a second,
Sure, go ahead.
because that is the biggest lie ever. is that if you give away your content, people aren't going to want to work with you because they got it all for free. They pay for implementation. They pay for hand holding, for assistance, for someone to be there and say, yes, this is going to work. Yes, this is working. Yes, you're on the right track. This, when you implemented this, why don't we try it this way? You know what? Based upon the data you just got back, I think you should make this move. That's implementation and hand holding. That's where your customers pay.
Exactly.
Now, do I give away everything I can that's super valuable? I give away my best stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Always give away your best stuff. And I don't give it all away at once. But really, anyone that you look at that's a big personality making millions and millions of dollars, if you look through all of their content, all of their highest tier stuff is all there. But it's not organized. It's stretched out over years in some cases. And what do we want? We want speed. We want help now. I want to get out of this 9 to 5 right now. So I need this organized. I need it organized in a meaningful way with checklists and things that are going to help me through. And I need someone to hold my hand and say if I'm making the right choices or not. That's when you pay.
Yeah. Yeah. Even that reminds me when Russell said that maybe you also heard about it, about the .com secret, whatever is
Mm-hmm.
written in .com secret, that's what he teaches in the inner circle. So he exactly right. He
Always
said
within
my
reach.
my 100K course or inner circle, we teach the same thing. But why are you then? If you read the book, why are you here? He said that in FHL. If you read that book, why are you here? We are like, what? Why you paid $1,000 and came here? Why? I said,
He's right.
oh my God, that's
And
so
that's the other
true.
thing is we'll pay more for something delivered in a different way.
Different way, right?
So what do I mean by that? So if I write a PDF that's
Hmm.
a lead magnet, now if I make a video series, literally
Hmm.
going through that lead magnet, that makes that more valuable. It's the
Exactly.
same content. Why would you do that? Because people learn in different ways.
Yeah, yeah, exactly what you said. You're holding their hand and walking them through it. So,
So that's why upsells on a lot of these big guys' names is here's the audiobook. Here's our video series walking you through the PDFs, the documents, the checklists, the whatever it may be. And that makes it worth that much more. It's the exact same thing delivered in a different way.
mhm.
Like, take for instance, music. Music through the years has changed the delivery method, but it's still music. It's sounds that our ears perceive as being pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
It's music, but it's delivered in a different way. From records to 8 track to
Oh, okay.
beta to
Uh-huh.
cassette to CDs to now streaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's still music, but we perceive it as being worth different values all the way along the road. So now people today still like records.
Mm-hmm.
They still think that records are the very best. Others like the convenience of streaming. They could be listening to the same music, but a record may be perceived as being far more valuable
Mm-hmm. Possessive, like I have
than
it and you can hold
streaming.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. And that those things mean differently to different people. So those have different values structure. How do I know what value to charge? Ask the market. See what's come before you, model success. So if you're selling funnels to entrepreneurs and you're just starting out, you don't know how to get attention, what do? Go look at who's come before you
Mm-hmm.
and see what they've done to get attention on their stuff. And you may say, oh, well, they have this giant email list. Okay, that gave you information. That's telling you that they have an asset of an email list. How did they make that email list? We get so trapped in comparison,
Mm-hmm.
comparing ourselves to others, we don't allow ourselves just a moment to
Yes.
think
Oh
it out.
gosh.
Just think
Exactly.
it out for a second. Okay, so you're telling me that their email list is their biggest asset. And that's what separates them from everybody else is they can send out an email and they can sell $100,000. Cool. That's great information. So now how are they growing that email list? Oh, they're doing Facebook ads and Google ads, and they're going live twice a week. Awesome.
Information.
Do
Okay.
that. Do that. Do the same thing. And you can get all this information. You can even get what some of their targeting was using Facebook ads library by using things like SimilarWeb. There's tools out there that allow you to get this information.
Right.
But we get in our head, oh, Frank Kern's got an email list.
I'm not Frank Kern. Exactly. I'm not him.
200,000.
Yes.
I can't do that. That's Frank Kern. Yeah, you can. Frank Kern has a gigantic email list. How does he grow that list? With Facebook ads. So I should go check out his Facebook ads because they're working. Model success.
Model. Yeah.
Don't get in your head that they're successful, therefore I can't be. Do you think that Microsoft or Android or whoever cares if someone beats their stock price by a point or 10 points in a month? No, they don't care. It doesn't matter. Why? Because they're still billionaires, trillionaires. Do you have to be number one in your industry, in your niche, to make a living, a really good, rich living? No. You don't even have to be number 10,000.
Exactly.
You can be the 100,000th best funnel builder in the world and be rich.
Exactly. I was listening to Gary recently, and he was saying at the same time, be happy. Maybe you are happy in 500K, and then you build 2 million or 3 million or 10 million, and you are not happy, and then you sucks. The way he said.
Yeah.
Then F bomb, and then the way he says. So your success, the definition of your success will be different from the definition of other people's success. So you define your success, and that is so true. That is, I mean, the moment, I mean, I heard it before, but the way he like hit me, I said, oh, F, that's true.
Yeah. Another thing is people say, oh, when I'm rich, I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to be a different person.
Oh, yes.
And what Steve Larson talks about, what Marley talks about, what Russell talks about, Jim Edwards, all of the big names talk about this. And they say that rich doesn't make you better. It makes you more of whatever you were before. If you were a jerk before, now you're a super jerk.
Super jerk. That's true.
If you were giving and caring and gracious before, now you are that much more of those things. All it does is turn you up. All it does is turn up the volume. It amplifies whatever you are. It doesn't change you. It's not going to be something to where I'm a depressed person, so when I get money, I'm going to be happy.
No.
No, you have to address the core of that because money's not going to solve that. Money solves money problems, period.
And money is just a tool. You have to change.
It's just a tool. You're absolutely right. So before you become rich, you need to really see in your mind and have it clear, what is the best case scenario for me? What does that look like? Because if you don't have it in mind, it generally gets decided for you. I'd rather decide for myself. So if you have that picture clear ahead of time, you can always be steering the ship towards that. Because a lot of people and this has been addressed multiple times by a couple big names. I won't name them just out of confidentiality, but massively depressed, immense amounts of divorce, people that reach the top and realize that there's nothing else to accomplish.
Empty.
There is. They feel empty.
Empty. Exactly.
And why is that? Because they didn't have a clear picture of what happiness looked like when they reached it. So now they're frantically searching, trying to find what they thought was at the summit that just isn't there. So that would be a word of warning to people getting into the entrepreneurship spaces. I think that they feel that everything sucks right now, but when I get rich, everything's going to be amazing.
No, we will land on that land utopia. No.
Just not the case. It makes things easier. You get more options, more opportunities come to you instead of you seeking them out. Things get easier, but it doesn't make you better or a better person or take away any kind of emotional or self-derived pains. That's still of your own. You have to address those. And when you become wealthy, it puts a big spotlight on that because you're very public. You know, Marley is someone who talks about share the scars, not the wounds. And I love that saying. I love that saying so much. I don't know if she came up with that. I always credit her. So I don't know where that came from before her, but I love that saying. Share the scars, not the wounds. What does that mean? Oh, everything's awful right now. I'm just in the worst place possible. People aren't listening to what you want them to listen to. They're worried about you. They're just concerned for your well-being. They're not going to buy anything from you. They're going to check in on you and make sure you're not going to jump off something. Don't share the wounds. Don't share the fresh problems that you're sitting in right now. Share the scars. Share it once you've gotten past it.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I got it. And I knew it, but the way you described it, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, because if you're sharing wounds, people are just concerned for you.
Yes, it happens to us,
It's not going to
right?
do what you want it to do.
It's
You
happened
share
to
the
us.
scars.
Yes, if you see your mentor or your teacher in some, the wound you are talking about, you doubt, right? You start doubting.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
They're supposed to be this
strong. Yeah, what
strong
will
person.
happen?
And it's great to show vulnerability.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. It
It
is
is great
okay,
to show that.
but at the same time, lead them that you are leader, not like,
Yeah, exactly. This is how I got past it. This is how I got over it. This is how
Exactly.
I managed that.
Yes.
Instead of
That
this is what
strength
I'm in
side of
right
it.
now and
Yeah.
I don't have a solution.
Right.
Very different conversations. And that'll stick with me forever. I think that that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard was from Marley.
I love it. I mean, I'm open to share my past or but not as a owned, but as I get it.
Exactly.
That's makes so much sense. So Jim, thank you so much. We are almost like 47 minutes. I haven't even realized. Oh my God. So we got so much value from you today, and also the fabulous game show you talked about and all the value you gave us. It's That's why you are my favorite mentor.
Oh, thank you so much.
So again, thank you so much for your generous interview for today, and hope all the viewers will also love that. And I will try to put all the links whenever I get it from you, below this video, wherever you are
Sure.
watching it. So yeah, and I wish someday Jim will come and give us some training. But today is more than a training if you listen to the whole interview.
And
But
I'd be
still,
happy
maybe
to,
with
of course.
yeah, maybe some tips, some tactics, whatever you are, I know your expertise in front of camera, and also those uh, especially content creations. Oh my God, he is valuable value bombs, all his teachings. So yeah, maybe one day you can share your training.
I'd be
Okay.
happy to.
Okay, thank you so much, James. And see you soon, and have a great, wonderful day.
Get out there and take some imperfect action. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. My channel name is Imperfect Entrepreneur. That's why.
I love it.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jim.